Andrew Greenberg, Executive Director of the Georgia Game Developers Association, here at SimFest. We've had a lot of great help, a lot of great sponsors, and a lot of great outfits with great dice. Hope you brought the dice with you.
No, they
No!
all over there, so I did.
No. All right, we'll call someone to bring him in. All right, so tell us about Danger Dice.
Danger Dice is an Atlanta-based company based out of Lawrenceville, and we've got a couple of items that nobody's ever had before, which is great for the market as a player, but it's also a tougher time than ever before as a vendor or distributor, whatever you want to call it. A lot of the companies from China are manufacturing stuff. They've got it available on Amazon and Etsy and all this other stuff, but the problem is there's no quality control to it. So the stuff that we have, we're quality controlling as much as we possibly can, and it's worth checking us out on dangerdice.com. But in the meantime, we've had a great time today here at this convention, and everybody's been really great, really nice, really just appreciate everything that they've been doing for us.
So one thing a lot of gamers don't realize is that dice, the dice we use, especially percentiles and 20s and so forth, they started as tools. So these are like surveyors pre-computer days when they were trying to figure out what plot to survey in a giant area, and they knew there's no way they could survey the whole thing, but they wanted to get a standard look. They would actually roll dice to figure out which plots to go survey. And they had to be really well weighted. So we're always concerned about, all right, is this my die always rolling ones? Is it always rolling 20s? What's going on? Surveyors needed to be as close to a true random roll as possible. For those of you who don't know, computers don't really do random number generation. We pull algorithms, and it's not really fully random. However, surveyors need to be as close to random as possible to do their work effectively. So the surveyor percentiles and D20s, these were wonderfully weighted, and you didn't worry about those corners being rounded like you did the original D&D dice. So quality control is key. So let's talk a little bit about how you do the quality control on the dice. What are you looking for? What makes a good die?
So everything is meticulously crafted by hand polished, hand poured, everything. We don't put anything in the tumblers for the final polishing scale because that just throws off the variations like crazy, as you all know if you know anything about dice. For us, the accuracy is very, very important. So if there's supposed to be a sharp edge on the resin, we want a sharp edge on every single corner. If it's supposed to be more of a pearlized finish with a polished edge, then we want that edge to be consistent all the way around our acrylic dice. I completely agree with that. I have a original set of dice that I've had since I was 11 years old, so almost 30 years ago at this point, and they've got some miles on them, that's for sure, but they are far from accurate or any degree of accurate because of the rounded edges or the chipped edges and so on and so on. So we do everything we possibly can to alleviate those frustrations through consistency. Obviously, when we're looking at everything, we're paying attention to the basics where a surface is missing a number, we send that back, we get it fixed. We don't put that into any type of packaging that we're going to move along to you guys. If the size is off, if the weight distribution seems off, we do a test of variance on, select few for the quality control with that. And then we have a wonderful woman. She has a meticulous eye for detail. She catches things we miss all of the time. Mostly on the packaging, though. We focus more so on the actual dice themselves to make sure they're consistent there. But to answer your question, it's all done by hand. It's all done by people who are not overworked, not underpaid. They're ready to go. They're doing their jobs well, so you don't have to worry about them missing anything.
Excellent. Can you go get some of the dice? Yeah. Yeah, can you bring some dice so we get them onto the stream? That'd be great. Bring them up. Bring them up here. All right, so we do have some of the dice to look at. All right, we're going to get into the controversial questions, the ones you all really want to hear. So, all right, a lot of controversy over this one. How do I restore the karma to my karma dice after somebody else has touched them?
That is something that everybody has a different opinion, person to person. Me personally, I believe every die has a little bit of a variance person to person, depending on how they roll it, why they roll it, what's maybe in their heart or in their mind, what they really want. So sometimes I'll roll right hand overhand, right hand backhand, left hand overhand, left hand backhand. And you do. Sometimes you get stuck to the point where you say, hey, you know what? This dice just needs to sit in dice jail for a little while until it starts behaving properly. My favorite color from the set that we do is called Bloodstone. And My goodness gracious. There was one time I could not roll above a 3 to save my life. So I just put it to the side for a little while. We had a little heart to heart. We had coffee. We shared some candy, and then everything was okay after that.
And admit it, the reason for the sharp corners on your dice is to punish anyone who tries to take your dice.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, very glad to hear that. So, gamers love their dice, and I mean, all of us have huge collections of dice at this point. And you talked about the fact that you can get cheap garbage dice on Amazon and wherever else. You talked about DangerDice.com, great place to look for dice. Where are the other good places to look for dice? Where else are you selling Danger Dice?
I'm not 100% sure who the stream is for. Is it just everybody everywhere?
This is a public stream, but it's going to be mostly game developers.
Okay, fair enough. Online is definitely going to be the best place to check us out. We're a local Atlanta dice company, so some of the stores in the Atlanta area, we're at Level Up, if you're familiar. They're the biggest gaming store in Georgia. And then this afternoon, we're going to be visiting some local retailers as well. What's the one Elijah owns?
Oh, you're not talking about definitely not Titan Games.
The one in Phoenix City that's right next door. He's picked up a bunch of Danger Dice from us today. Might have to throw that in the comments here later once I remember the name of that.
We'll put that store on into comments. All right, last. So with it's very interesting with Fading Suns. Of course, we mess with the karma dice because your target number changes based on your skills. Your target is your skill plus characteristic. So instead of always having 20s be best, we're having this constant range. But we have folks who tell them that certain dice know how to follow their probabilities and hit just what they want to touch on. I assume most of your dice get sold for D&D. But what other games do you know people playing using Danger Dice?
Danger Dice is useful for all types of games. We have the D6s here in our ammo crate, which are great for games like Crisis Protocol, Warhammer 40K, Age of Sigmar, that type of thing. Doubles as a dice cup. It's absolutely fantastic. Most of our more popular sets are the polyhedral set. They're for D&D, Pathfinder, Power Rangers, believe it or not, has an excellent RPG right now. Avatar The Last Airbender has one. Like, you name it, it seems like everybody's got a little RPG book that's out now. And the games across the board are usually pretty good. And I even hesitate to say better than D&D. Now, D&D I've got ultimate respect for. It's the oldest grandfather of them all. And there are certain games, like you could never enjoy Pathfinder unless you played D&D first. But whatever your preference is, we have dice sets for both of those sets. Even have 4 knucklehead kids at home, and they love using these dice cups to play Yahtzee. And you know what? That's just fine, too.
All right, last question. A lot of our viewers will be going to gaming conventions throughout the Southeast, nationally and internationally. What conventions can they expect to find you at?
We'll be at Southern Fried Gaming here in Atlanta. We'll be at AWA here in Atlanta as well. We're trying right now to get into the game room at Dragon Con, which might work out. And then don't be surprised if you see us at Gen Con this year as well. So we'll be around for the summer.
Excellent. Danger Dice, thank you very much. I'm going to take these home with me and never see them again. All right, thank you very much for joining us today.